Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of simplifying square roots. This is standard A.11A in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 8, the Redesign Practice Online STAAR Test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we need to find an expression that's equivalent to this square root of 75. And so I'm going to suggest that we use this graph draw feature here. And just made the transparency big. I just want to list out my perfect squares. Okay? So 2 squared equals 4. 3 squared equals 9. Let's just list them all out. The reason we're going to do this is going to become apparent in a second. We're going to need to factor something out of this square root of 75. And we can factor out perfect squares. And we're going to treat it like we were just factoring a normal number, but it needs to be a perfect square. So we're going to need to do a little bit of guess and check to see which of these perfect squares we can factor out of that square root of 75. So it's usually good to have a list here. So I'm going to open up my calculator. Let's move my calculator over so I can kind of see both at the same time. Alright, so we're going to just take our 75, right? And we're going to just start dividing it by each of these to see, no, it's not that one. And so 75 divided by 9. We'll guess and check, no, it's not going to be 16. We're looking for an even 75 divided by 25. Okay. So that works. So 25 times 3, that makes 75. All right, should have remembered that. Just to double check to make sure there's not a larger one. 36 isn't going to work. 49 is not going to work. And now 64 and 81. You can't even double those. 81 is obviously bigger than that. Okay, so 25 is our number. So that's going to be helpful. So this is what we're going to think of it now. We're going to think, okay, 75. Extend that out a little bit here. So 75, if I were to factor this out, I can say, all right, so 25 times 3. But it's not just 75, right? It's the square root of 75. But that still is going to break down to the same things, right? I can still say, all right, square root of 25 times the square root of 3. Those two together, multiplied, still equal the square root of 75. So that's what we need to be able to visualize. If we take the square root symbol out of it, it's just the same as 25 divided by 3. How is this helpful? Well, we can't do anything with the square root of 3, but we know what the square root of 25 is, right? I mean, if we need to verify it, we can, but the square root of 25 is just 5. So now I can say this square root of 75 is the same as 5 square root of 3. Because that 5 is the same as square root of 25, which I factored out. Now, the easiest way to figure this out is, let's just plug stuff in, right? Let's just verify. That's the slow way, but we can always do that. So let's see, what are we actually looking for? We're looking for a square root of 75. All right, so let's just call it 8.66. We know it goes on and on. It's an irrational number, right? And let's see what happens when we do 5 square root of 3, right? Look what you get. The exact same, right? 8.66. So to double check, right, we could do that with all of these. I'm looking for B now. 15 square root of 5. Yeah, 33.54. 3 square root of 5. See, they took that and they just flipped it, right? So if we're not paying attention, we might do that. 6.71. Then our last one, 5 square root of 15. It's going to be 19.36. So this is how we factor it, but to double check, plug it into the calculator. You got to write there on the test. And see that 8.66 lands with both of those. So my answer here is going to be A.